We are still coming to you live with updates to do with the local government elections all over the country, and the team of which I'm part is concentrating on Kampala. We were in Rubaga, we met the Lord Mayor and where he voted from in the morning. We came to Machindye, we met another candidate, Ragadi, and we toured a number of electoral points in Machindye. We are still in Machindye in Barracks Zone, and we are coming in with another candidate. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. The candidate we're meeting at this very point is the Honorable Nabilla Nagayi Sempala. She is currently the woman MP for Kampala, ending a term, and she wants to start another term as the Lord Mayor for the very capital city. We want to know what the day has been for her so far and what exactly she expects by 6 p.m. or even tomorrow. Honorable, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Yes, it is already 2 p.m. actually.
Yes.
How is your day so far?
Very productive, very busy, very exciting, and very challenging at the same time.
Can you break that all down? Especially challenging. What is challenging about a day like this?
Campaigns are challenging, whether it's even a company doing a campaign. It's very challenging. Campaigns are very passionate. Campaigns are very emotion intensive. And this one has been double or triple. Because in Kampala, it's a red zone. So it was a campaign and no campaign. But they expect that the voting day will happen.
So have you campaigned, if we have to take the perspective of no campaign?
There's no single candidate who has campaigned at a level of the district. Because there's no way you can do scientific in 9 constituencies. Because you can't reach those households. Even statisticians have like 2 days of public holidays. And there are so many to cover an area where they can reach every household. And campaigns are meant to just be that. That's why ordinarily campaigns have rallies. You call about 1,000 people. They may not be all, but they are somehow representative of the area.
We got information when we were in Rubaga in the morning that they received ballot. There is a polling station that received one DR form. Somewhere else they had the names that were interchanged, and the Electoral Commission was asked to return these materials and interchange and things like that. Have you noticed such gaps in other areas?
Yes, I did, because I have reports of malpractices. I started with Kawempe last night.
Before malpractices on the part of the Electoral Commission, have you received missing? Yes. Where exactly?
Kabowa. The woman Lord Councillor's ballot papers didn't come in, so they've not carried out the woman Lord Councillor, position, because the ballots didn't appear at all. And most of their polling stations were interchanged with Mdeba. Kasubi polling materials happened to go to Natete, which is in Rubaga South. So I don't know where Natete polling materials ended up. So this has happened, especially in Rubaga, but it's unique to the most populous parishes. They disenfranchise our voters by doing that. Because it's not a public holiday. When someone comes in and wants to vote, they have maybe 30 minutes to cast their vote and go back to work.
Who could have been? You said they disenfranchise your voters. Who would be interested?
The Electoral Commission.
How is the Electoral Commission interested in this particular vote of the Lord Mayor?
I'm a good example. The Electoral Commission carried out my elections as a woman member of Parliament for Kampala City. I was petitioned by a certain individual, and the Electoral Commissions became party to the petition. And they also agreed that they carried out that election illegally. It's only the Constitutional Court that reinstated me as the woman MP. So I've seen the Electoral Commission become funny.
Getting biased against you?
Not against me. Let me tell you, it could have been another person. This time I feel like my presidential candidate has been really harassed, and the Electoral Commission has looked on. And I am citing my example. Others could cite theirs. So I can't cite examples I don't know.
Okay, let's get away from that. Let's talk about the malpractice issue you were talking about. Do we have malpractice cases already by 2 p.m. in the election?
Everywhere. Not even then. We had on the eve I got reports. I was called Kawempe, at Global Primary School at midnight. There were people who were taking ballots. It's a polling station. And when I asked the person who called me, they said they don't know, they are going to verify. And when they went to verify, after about 25 minutes, I was called, and in the background I could hear there was mayhem, there was a scuffle. And when the person called me again, he said, "Hello, Honorable." He gave me somebody. And the person who came in was none the other than Jose Chameleon, who said, "Hey, beautiful woman, we are competitors, but this man wants to really rig and stuff ballot boxes this night." I said, "Who?" He said, "Lukwago, his brother is here." And I said, "Really?" So Chameleon had people with him. They started, they arrested, actually they waylaid these people. One person and the border went away with the boxes. And the three, including Lord Mayor Lukwago's brother, was arrested on the scene. So when they were being arrested, Chameleon called the police. They came, but unfortunately or fortunately, the side of Lukwago had called reinforcement. So 2 of his cars with number plates, his posters, came in armed with sticks, stones, to fight, because they wanted to rescue their people who had been caught. So unfortunately, they found the police patrol, so they told them, "Let's drive to the police station." So they fell in a trap, unfortunately. And when I said, "Okay, let me drive." But I live in Buziga, so it's on the other side. So crossing through the curfew, I arrived at around sometime to 1. I saw the cars there. Lukwago's brother Swaib, who I know, he works with him at City Hall, was there. And I went to the reception. I saw the man. I said, "Wow, these are very interesting times."
At that very point, what kind of image is this about you, the opposition in Uganda? What do you have to tell the people?
Opposition is not an entity. So I would want people to really distinguish that.
What is opposition, in that perspective?
National Unity Platform, like I said. And I'll give a similar. I'll say there are people who claim to be righteous opposition, but we will be judged by our actions, not our words.
What do you mean by that, Honorable?
Let me tell you.
I'm not
citing, and opposition is a big thing. It's a
exactly.
I'll just say Lord Mayor Lukwago's cars and people, his brother, were arrested.
Let me take this question a bit broader. We are seeing you and him, senior opposition figures in this country. That one is a fact.
Let me tell you, I'm a candidate. Yes. Everyone has a right to be a candidate. So you don't pluralize them because you're a candidate for a certain position.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, first of all, being that you are pooling side by side for the same post as people from the same kind of environment.
You should be asking our presidents that why should these parties exist? I'm a NUP member and I prefer to be asked about NUP. So and actually I'm not talking about parties, but I'm talking about a particular candidate whose agents, whose brother were caught red-handed, trying to, manage something around a polling station in the wee hours of the morning. So I drove, I'm a witness, I saw the brother, I saw the cars, I saw the sticks. I wondered, I said, okay, I asked the OC, let me tell you, I told you what I saw. I wasn't the person who really saw them. So what I can say is that when I arrived, I saw the people, I saw the stones, I saw the cars, I registered the number plates, and I asked the OC, what are you going to do about this? He told me there is no complainant. So I said, oh, so there should be a complainant. So I asked one of Chameleon's agents who was there, because Chameleon had left by the time I reached there. So I asked him, please, aren't you going to make a step? Because you're the one who saw this from there. He said, I'm going to make one. So I said, please go. So he did, and I have a reference, and he has a reference. He registered a complaint. And when that was done, the miracle of all things happened. Finally, I saw a rush around the police. Calls from above started coming in. those guys who were caught at a polling station during curfew, trying to do something, arrested by fellow politicians, the police called in, they were given bond at 2 a.m. and they drove away. Actually, one police officer, who I cannot name, said, "Honorable, we can't do anything. The call has come from the Kampala Metropolitan Police Commandant that we give them bond at night." I asked them if there had been NUP members and they were found with sticks and stones, I assure you, that would be terrorism, that would be treason. Those in Kalangala are still languishing, who are found with nothing. So I feel like it's not opposition. So that's why.
Honorable, what do you expect as we wind up?
As we wind up, I want the
What
whole
is your expectation at the end of the day?
Like I say, the people's voice will be heard. It's unfortunate that the malpractices are escalating. People are in. I either get in or else we kill the process. So I'm just saying, I hope the people's will and a fair process eventually, that the ballots cast rightfully will overwhelm the malpractices.
Thank you so much, Honorable.